Okay. What? They can't?
Mhm. Go to split screen.
I don't know. Do they need to see my face? It says video. It says I'm showing video right now. What's that? Oh, yeah? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. How many people do we have? Should we give it a few minutes or should we go ahead and get going? Yeah. Okay. Well, I will go ahead and get started then. My name is Randall Moore. I'm the CEO here at Fulcrum, and this is our 2026 company kickoff, sales kickoff. This presentation specifically is for the vendor community that supports us in our efforts here. But obviously, we've got a big crowd in the room here. I'd like to start before I get into my presentation by giving a big thank you. Not just to the folks that are in the room, but also to the vendor community that has supported us in our efforts. Um, we have we've had an amazing run, an incredible growth rate. But we're trying to do something that's very, very hard. We're trying to change an industry. We're trying to change the way customers think about and consume technology, and that is not easy. And there are a lot of naysayers out there. And 2025, I think, was a rough year for a lot of people in our industry. And yet we pulled it out. We pulled through. We continued our growth. We had a good year, and 2026 looks to be even better of a year. And I just want to say thank you to our vendor community for supporting us, for evangelizing, for being part of our efforts here, for supporting us in our marketing events. We could not do what we do without you. So thank you. So I was going to skip kind of the brief history of Fulcrum because I know a lot of our vendor community, you know us, you already do business with us, but I also noticed that we have a lot of new faces and a lot of our new vendors showing up. So I am going to cover very quickly a brief history of Fulcrum, where we came from. I'm going to throw up some logo slides, but I'm going to let those build in the background while I talk about it. So. Fulcrum originally started life strictly as a consulting firm. We were in business for 12 years now, and really it's a kind of a tale of two companies. When we started life as a consulting firm, we did business mostly through other VARs, through other manufacturers. We had not a lot of direct business with our customers, which means we couldn't necessarily control the outcome of the entire life cycle of the product or the service that we were doing. In 2020, we kind of came out from underneath that umbrella and began to do business directly with customers. And you'll see these logos kind of build back behind me here that shows the incredible growth rates that we had as we started to do that. And we started to sell product in addition to just being a consulting firm. Even though we began to sell product, we're still very much a heavily engineering focused company. We started life that way. We believe that our value to the community, our value to our customers is very focused around our engineering capabilities and what we bring to the table there. And we will continue to ensure that we do that even as we grow on the sales side of the house. So now we come to 2025. 2025, as I mentioned earlier, I think was a tough year for a lot of people in our industry, both on the vendor side as well as on the VAR side. But we still did very well. We added a ton of new clients in 2025, and our growth rates continued. And the thing I want to highlight here is our growth rate, our 5-year average growth rate was 77%. 5 years on an average basis. That is, if like that's unheard of for a company, like ours that is on our side of the fence. So I just want to thank you all for that and helping us continue that growth rate. So why are we having success in the industry? Well, it all comes down to our thesis. We believe that customers are searching for ways to be more efficient. Customers are unhappy with the legacy way of consuming technology. There's too many things being thrown at them. Their budgets are being slashed. They're being asked to do more with less, and they don't have the people to do it. They don't have the skill sets to do it. Each of the markets around the country, they all have their own unique perspectives. And a lot of the, shall we say, legacy VARs, legacy LARs in some cases, they have a one size fits all approach for customers, which just we don't think meets the market. And we want to meet the market where it is. And so we provide local resources, local talent in each of the areas that we serve. And we think that makes a big difference. We can't quite call ourselves a national VAR yet, national SI yet, because we're not everywhere, but we are in the central time zone. We go all the way from Houston up to Milwaukee. So we consider ourselves a super regional. For current state, I don't want to go too much into where we are. I'm going to leave a lot of that to Richard. I don't want to steal his thunder, but he'll be up here in a few minutes to talk about that. So doubling down on our thesis, right? Why do we believe this to be true? So this is the third year in a row that ISC Squared has come out with their annualized report where they talk about what are the challenges in the industry. Hiring, finding good talent, open headcount has been kind of the recurring theme for the last probably 5 years. This past year was very, very interesting. It wasn't just headcount. In fact, headcount came in number 2 as far as what was most important to customers. This past year, 2025, they released the report in December. It was all about skill set. Customers maybe, they didn't have the talent, but the talent they did have didn't have the skills that they needed to be able to do the job. We can talk about the layoffs. 25% had layoffs, 39% had hiring freezes, and 36% had budget cuts. I think we've all seen that. 2025, again, a lot of customers just kind of held off, whether it was due to election uncertainty or tariffs or just, whatever. A lot of customers held off on spend last year. We're beginning to see that open up a little bit. And I don't think that's going to be a long-term thing, but 59% of companies are reporting significant or critical. If you add moderate skill needs in there, it's like 84%. So customers they're dying for help. They're dying for somebody who can come in and help them make sense of cloud, of AI, and shockingly, IAM came in at number 3. Rounding out the rest is the app security risk and GRC. But the funny thing about that is we have towers that do all of this, right? We have people that handle all of these things. We have experience in every area that our customers are saying that they have a skill gap in. We just have to find them. We have to get closer to them. We have to explain to them how to consume our technology, our people in a different way. All right, client financial challenges. So, vendor community, how many of you have heard this from your clients? We want to go direct, right? We want to use the marketplace. What they're actually telling you when they say these words is we we have budget challenges, right? We're trying to save money, but B is we don't see value in the VARs that we're using today. Um, it is very easy, and I totally get it, to just do what the customer says. Customer says, "Hey, we want to go direct." Okay, Mr. Customer, we can make that happen for you. Or, yes, absolutely, we'll go through the marketplace. Please, 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 I beg of you, just give them another option. Say, totally get it, totally understand, but let me describe a new way of consuming technology, a new way of doing business that we think adds value because it will, and customers will. People that have tried it, they're really leaning into our PS Plus program, and a lot of you know what that is, but I'm going to cover it again here because it's incredibly powerful and ultimately we believe is going to change the industry for the good. Um, we do tools rationalizations for our customers, right? We want to make sure that they're getting value out of the tools that they have, that they're the duplicative nature of tool sets, whether they are tool A or tool B, or maybe tool A is being used by one group in a very large multinational corporation, and tool B is being used in another group. And there's no reason to have both of those technologies, so they're double paying in a lot of cases. Whether it's that or whether it's, hey, we just need to outsource this to a third party to be able to take over, we can handle both of those motions. And the secret sauce here, the magic behind it, what makes it actually work is our PS Plus program. So the PS Plus program is all around giving back to our customers in a programmatic way, in a repeatable way, in a documented way that every time a customer buys a product from us, whether it's hardware, software, cloud, even renewals, we don't care. 5% of that purchase price goes into a bucket for them to consume as services credits against our professional services team, against our managed services, against our talent acquisition team if they need to do hiring, right? This gives the customer some flexibility to turn CapEx into OpEx. It lets them have a little slush fund so the CIO gets to get projects done that he can't necessarily get through his board. There's a lot of really powerful things with PS Plus that customers who have tried it, ultimately, they want to send all of their spend over to us. And so it's really working. We think this is where the industry is going. We think, the VAR community is going to be doing some form of this in the future. So we look forward to proving that out. It's kind of a visual slide for how PS Plus works, right? Customers today, they're buying from product resellers, whether it's CDW or SHI. They're doing consulting with Accenture or Deloitte, and they're doing managed services with the HCLs and the Cognizants of the world. And by combining those three functions under one house, right? You've got one throat to choke, you've got one sales staff, you've got one engineering staff, and obviously the cost of sales is a lot lower for us. And so therefore we can pass those savings on to the customer by giving them that 5%. And it's a snowball effect, right? We get our guys in helping the customer, and they want to send us more of their product spend so that they get more of our smart guys. It's very powerful, and it's working very well for us. And it's working very well for our vendor community. But again, I don't want to steal Richard's thunder. He's got some thoughts and some slides on that. So this is kind of our, Fulcrum exists to solve critical business problems for our clients. Shoulder to shoulder with them, shoulder to shoulder with our vendor community. We want the right outcome for the community. We want to lift the community up holistically together. We believe there's a lot of fluff and a lot of shall we say, profit that is being made in the cybersecurity space that isn't necessarily translating into solving actual real cybersecurity problems. And we want to actually do that. We want to change that. And so that's our thesis. That's what we're doing here. And we thank you guys for being part of it. I'm now going to invite Mike Grawl to come up and give you an update on our Vizient relationship, Vizient Communication. We acquired Talus, which was Mike Grawl's company up out of Milwaukee 2 years ago now. Yeah, and And so he's here to give you a quick update on our Vizient contract. Mike?
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for your time this afternoon to hear what we're doing at Fulcrum and get up to speed and hopefully kick 2026 off in a good fashion so we can accomplish all our objectives and work closer together. Uh, as Randall mentioned, the Vizient relationship came over with Fulcrum and Talus merger when we came together at the end of 2023. Healthcare is a big focus of our overall initiatives. We have a lot of great corporate activities going on, but also healthcare is generating a tremendous amount of opportunities for all of us too. And we just want to give you a quick update on what we're doing with Vizient and what that could mean for all of you as we work together to put programs together, address some of the challenges and problems that Randall indicated that the market faces. Healthcare, the budget challenges are probably even more pronounced. The skill shortages are also difficult for them. They just don't have the same amount of people to address all the different needs they have. So collectively, we can work with you to help them address those areas and help us all achieve what we're set out to do as companies as far as growing and capturing new market share. For those that aren't familiar with Vizient, it's a group purchasing organization. So healthcare has a few of those. Vizient happens to be the largest. They represent probably about 55% of all your health systems around the company or around the country, from the biggest like the Kaisers, the Mayos, the Cleveland Clinics, down to your community healthcare based organizations. But there's lots of those systems out there. There's probably 3 to 4,000, probably over 4,000 actually in the country, and Vizient represents about 2,000 of those. So it's a big initiative, big opportunity, and we'll look forward to working with you to put together programs to take advantage of that contract that we have. It's for cybersecurity and services and solutions, so that's right in our wheelhouse. Um, and it's, like I said earlier, it's part of our strategic initiative to grow that out. One of the key things that happened last year for us, and something we were working on for quite some time, and was one of our early goals when we got the contract initially, was to secure an addendum to address a subset of Vizient, which is Captus. So Captus is what Vizient would call an aggregation group. So it's more of a regional group that works closer together. They collaborate more and it generates more opportunities, almost a higher degree of compliance to use the contract. With Captus, it's a initiative that's almost like a joint venture between Vizient and Mayo Clinic. So Mayo Clinic does a lot of the contracting and provides a lot of the resources to drive this particular group of members. There's 96 of them. A lot of them are based up in the north central, so Wisconsin, Minnesota, but they also have members that go out east, all the way down to Oklahoma, and I think all the way out to Colorado, and then a few scattered around the country as well. We're working on doing a lot of education with them right now. We've done a webinar. We've done 3 now, and we've just did one on microsegmentation. We're going to be doing one on AI coming up in March. So we're looking for partners of ours to participate with us on that. And then there's also an opportunity where they help promote our services, our solutions, as well as what we've done with the manufacturer community. So it's a great opportunity for you to drive your business in healthcare. We welcome conversations with you to figure out how we can work on this together and help solve these problems that they're facing. How you can get involved. I'll see, I think Heather's at 20 some vendors we'll see tonight. 25. So for all you vendors that I'll see tonight, I will stop by your booth and I'll talk to you. I'll introduce myself, and that'll be a starting process there. For those of you that couldn't make it, you can reach out or send me a note as far as who we should be talking to within your organization. If you have a healthcare vertical, we certainly want to know who those individuals are. We'll provide a in-depth briefing for you and your teams. If you have sales teams that are dedicated to the areas we operate in. We'll be glad to do account mapping so we can align on certain things you're working on, see if we can help you penetrate those accounts, drive opportunities forward. Get involved in the Fulcrum marketing events. Heather and team do a wonderful job of creating awareness, and they get a lot of people at those events. So reach out to the marketing team here at Fulcrum and get involved there. Another thing to think about is how can we help them solve these problems? What can we do together to solve these budget problems? Can we collapse technologies down so their overall security maturity goes up, but it's simplified and more cost effective? Think about how you can take your technology, your solutions, work with us and our service team to deliver something that's better and more cost effective. Uh, and collaborate with us on providing education. Obviously budgets are tight, so if we can help educate them where they don't have to spend money or take time out of the field or out of the office to learn things, we can do that as well. So there's quite a few different opportunities here for you to work with us, and we're hoping that you do want to do that because this opportunity is really big. There's a lot of health systems around the country and they need a lot of help. So my contact information is here. Just shoot me a note and we'll get started to figure out how we can tackle this together. So thank you, and thanks for all your support.
All right, everyone. Richard Stevens, the Chief Revenue Officer here at Fulcrum. I'm here to talk about your business as a vendor. Spent the majority of my career, yes, there's magic hands here, Lance. Spent the majority of my career on the vendor side. So I think I have something worthwhile to say about this. I think about the real problems that vendors face. And it's multifaceted, but from a sales execution perspective, we're looking at this. You want access, you want a partner that knows the customer, you want to prove value, you want the resources, you want pipeline, ultimately, you want GP. I think most vendors don't get this because not because their product is bad. They lose, right? And they don't get this because they were never even in the room. They never even saw the opportunity. It was never in front of them. So access, I think, is the first gate. Understanding the business is second, and I think if you miss either one of those, nothing else matters. When we look at a continued list of the real problems I think that vendors face, we look at needing to engage a little bit quicker, shorter sales cycle, which is a multifaceted problem. Obviously, like I said earlier, you need revenue, you need gross profit, references, which means that, 8 and 9 are kind of tied together. You have to have happy customers to get to those references. And ultimately, you need to solve your customers' problems. If you don't solve your customers' problems, they're not going to buy your solutions unless you're really, really lucky. So these problems compound each other. And I think that this is why sales, for a lot of us in this community, especially in IT community, feel like every year is a little bit harder. Every year compounds, and it's not because you forgot how to sell. I think it's because these issues, all 10 of these issues, just stack on top of each other, one thing after another. Long sales cycles, they kill momentum. Lack of references, they kill confidence. Poor service kills renewals. So none of this exists in isolation. So how does Fulcrum solve a lot of that sales equation and the sales problems that you have there? It's not that Fulcrum is going to help you sell more aggressively. So if you think that's what Fulcrum is here for, you really want to think about us in a different way. We're going to help you to solve and to engage more predictably with those customers that we call customers. This is a big difference. When you look at product sales, we help our customers by driving innovation, by running POCs, by running the RFP. In fact, with PS Plus, we're paid to run the RFP for a lot of our customers. We like to qualify demand and shape demand for our customers, not just show up with our trench coat and all of our offerings, right? Hey, do you want, this watch, that watch, or the other watch? That's not what we're in the business for, and that's why our customers trust us. We have exemplarily some of the best consulting in the planet, right? We have expert implementation, expert MSP and MSSP. Our knock is absolutely top notch. Tons of happy customers there. A little bit of custom development too. When we can't find products and technologies that are going to actually solve problems for our customers. And what we just started up this past year with Talent Solutions is great. Generated over $1 million of gross profit to our bottom line here at Fulcrum. Super excited about that, but that also helps us to help our customers operationalize their technology. There's a difference in between being invited to a deal and actually being invited to a plan. What we're trying to deliver is a plan for a lot of our customers. So let's talk about PS Plus and the way that it can help some of our manufacturers actually deliver on some of those biggest problems that they have. Unplanned projects, PS Plus, it helps. If you have to operationalize a technology, integrate a technology, PS Plus, it helps. How many times as a vendor have you tried to sell a technology to a customer and the customer's like, there's no way I can tackle this because I don't have the people on staff right now. I don't know how to integrate it. I don't know how to operationalize it. And that's why PS Plus exists for us, is to be able to shorten a lot of those sales cycles, to condense a lot of the sales cycles, and to produce an offering to a customer that takes the technologies that you want to sell them and answers all the integration and operationalization questions all around it. So we do a fantastic job of this. If you think about the market too, over the last year, 2025, as Randall had said, a little bit interesting, I think, for a lot of vendors out there. I think I saw a lot of seats changing on the vendor community. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a rush towards AI. There's a rush towards moving from one vendor to another because, some maybe product issues, cultural issues, execution issues. For us, PS Plus answers a lot of those questions and helps us, right? CISOs can change, priorities can change, budgets, they can reset with our customers. And PS Plus is what keeps deals alive for you as a vendor and for Fulcrum as an integrator when everything else shifts. We have so many stories internally about CISOs changing seats at some of our customers, cause us a little bit of a headache. And the new CISO comes in, initially doesn't even want to talk to anyone, but when they're sitting on $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 of PS Plus credits, when they're sitting on $1 million of PS Plus credits, they answer the phone pretty quickly after that. There's value in excellence, and there's also value in execution and being able to offer some services. We've helped our customers and our vendors to be able to create $622 million in pipeline in 2025. It takes a little bit of a breath out of the room, I think. When we looked at it last year, it was somewhere in between 300 to 400 million. I don't think I actually put that number on the screen last year. It was about 1/3 of a billion is what I thought about. We doubled that. We're not 2/3 of $1 billion in opportunities. Doesn't mean we're going to win all of those. As a sales team knows, I love execution. I love being able to convert. But asking you to convert at 100% is a little bit tough. Even if we got 50% of the way there, that'd be amazing. I think the industry averages probably apply here. What it means to you as a vendor is it's an indicator that we're giving vendors access when customers have a need. When customers have a problem, we're giving them access to our vendor landscape. They understand that these are the potential vendors that can solve those mission critical problems for you. And just to reuse an overused phrase, these are the ways that you can actually help those customers to achieve those business outcomes that they're looking for. When we look at Fulcrum's top 5 customers, my internal team, they've seen this, earlier today during sales kickoff, and this is a condensed version because I didn't want all the numbers out there, but the numbers that I'm willing to share are on average, When you look at the opportunities created, we have 62 opportunities created for our top 5 customers, right? Any one of those top 5, on average, is going to be 62. We won 22 of those, right? So typical conversion ratio is about 1/3. Um, Engagement metrics. When the vendor community looks at us and says, well, how engaged are you? Are you talking to the CISO? No, we're talking to 53 unique contacts in our average top 5 account. 53 people, 86 meetings on average in any one of our top 5 accounts, and 1,119 emails, not from the organization as a whole, but from our account executive that is in charge of that organization. So if it's Carly, if it's Rucker, if it's Kevin, on average, they're sending out 1,119 emails and attending 86 meetings, and in touch with 53 people. That's the kind of access that Fulcrum has, and a lot of it has to do with we're really focused on the engagement with the customer and how to improve business outcomes for them. If you ask what our team looks like, this is it. We've gone through a lot of the motions here, and we love regional depth. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do more of this year, is to engage a little bit deeper in Minneapolis, in Dallas, in Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and Denver. We want to build out those territories. What we also found is that field CTOs matter. They matter a ton. Our technical talent matters a ton. Field CTOs help us to bridge the gap between our customers' needs and requests, and our vendors and our AEs, right? They're the glue that makes a lot of this work. Our consulting team is the glue that makes a lot of this work. Over 100 engineers, here at Fulcrum, and they're all amazing. Not only do we have these great engagements with our customers and we have this great internal team, but we expose that to our vendor landscape, and this is what I would ask you to be a part of. These are some of the pictures and some of the images of some of the fantastic events that Heather and the marketing team puts on. This is your moment as a vendor to be able to be a part of our relationships. And there's a lot of people out of the 50 or 60 people that we have on average for any one of our core accounts. We have a lot of them coming to these engagements. You'll see the bar chart there. The last graph, if you can't read it, shows that this last year we had 3,517 attendees. And that gave all of our vendors opportunities to have relationships, to have access. It's more rooms, more conversations, and more chances to be relevant for our vendor community. So what partners actually get when they work with Fulcrum? Probably 5 top things. Access to real enterprise buyers. Everybody on the vendor landscape wants this. Sales conversations rooted in business problems. Yeah, they want authentic conversations. It doesn't really matter if you finally get to talk to any one of our top customers and you're talking to the wrong person. Deals that survive security, procurement, and finance. This is where PS Plus helps out tremendously. Helps to be able to take a lot of the value from the soup to nuts, from the very beginning of the course to the very end of the course, and helps you guys to understand how to deliver that true value. Customers that can actually run what they buy, operationalizing that technology inside of their environment. And I think every vendor loves a shorter path from interest to impact. And the impact for a lot of those vendors is a PO. Doesn't stop there though. For us, that's just the beginning. PS Plus means that we're involved in the operationalizing it, integrating it, creating dashboards in Splunk, John Owen, for it. So, it just is the beginning for us, but it's a tremendous opportunity for everybody that's listening to engage with us. I'm going to hand it off to Heather now, and she's going to talk a little bit more about marketing.
Awesome. Thank you, Richard. Super excited to wrap this up and talk some fun marketing stuff. As Randall mentioned earlier, I think a lot of you guys know us, know Fulcrum, know what we do. But we do have some new logos and faces out there. So just to kind of give you an idea of what you get when you do an event with Fulcrum, we try to bring together technology alliances. We're not just looking for a partner to come in and do an event. We really want to bring you together with your other community in the vendor space to talk about synergistic solutions and relationships and build on that, because that's what we do as a VAR as well. We're not just going in selling point products. We want to bring together solutions, and we want to do that in the vendor community as well. We try to make all of our events very turnkey. We manage every aspect of the process. We just want you to show up, engage with your customers and prospects, and have a great time. A lot of expertise in here, 20 plus years in our marketing group. 17 of those might be mine. I won't say how long I've been in this industry, but yeah, customer relationships. We've got a fantastic network of relationships with our customers. Our sales team and our engineering team go deep and wide in all of our accounts. And this is what allows us to get those people at the events that you want to be in front of. And then driving meaningful attendance. This is super important. I think any of you that have done events with us know Wes and his team. Wes and team drive about 90% of attendance to our events, and it's not just getting butts in seats, it's getting the right people there that you want to be in front of. So that is something unique to Fulcrum, I believe. A look back at 2025 events, we did a lot of fun stuff this year. Each year we just keep doing more and more and growing and trying to do events that hit every level of the organization. We do some fun stuff, some educational stuff, some competitive stuff. So a lot of really cool things. FCon is one of my babies that I'm the most proud of. We'll touch on that here in a minute. But one question that we get asked, I know I get asked, and Richard and Jacob and Amber do quite a bit, is, hey, how can we best engage with your sales team? We're all running a million miles an hour and trying to do one-on-one account mapping with our sales team is sometimes hard to do. So what we really encourage is for all of your team to join our partner-facing regional happy hours. We're currently doing these about once a quarter in Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and Denver. And this is your best opportunity to get in front of our sales team, our engineering team, and our executive team. When we plan these, Jacob and Amber are very specific about all of the reps being there, being engaged, and this is your one opportunity to really get in front of our team and have those meaningful conversations, do some account mapping, and figure out where we align in the field. Richard already showed some pictures. I thought I'd show a few more. A lot of fun stuff we did this year. Over 60 events. That's more than one a week. And there's only Michael and I. So we're at a lot of events. But again, we couldn't do this without the partner community and your investment in us. Over $800,000 we put into events this year. And a big part of that is your investment in us and believing in us and believing that we're going to deliver the right events to you. FCon 2025. We talked about this in previous sessions. This is, I think, our 9th iteration of FCon. We transitioned from COVIDCon to FCon. And I am the most proud of this because this is a 3-day virtual conference that we put on. We started this during COVIDCon, or during COVID. I can't even say COVID without saying COVIDCon. During COVID, when we realized that what Black Hat was putting out as virtual conferences was kind of shit, and we could do better. With the engineers that we have and the talent we have, we could put out better content than they did. And so we started this, and about 80% of all of these sessions that you see on here were done exclusively by Fulcrum employees. These are guys and gals that have 50, 60, 70, 80-hour a week jobs that they kept up with, and they took their own time and ingenuity and knowledge and came up with all of these different sessions. So again, this is something that I'm super proud of. Nobody else out there is doing this. I rival this content to any conference being put on anywhere. So we're looking forward to continuing this as we grow and bringing this to you bigger and better every year. But really, actually just want to stop right now and give a huge round of applause to all of our engineers and technical staff that put this on every year and make this amazing. Vision forward. We've talked about this a little bit last year and we're working towards it. We're getting a little bit better each year, but we continue to strive to be better about our alignment before and after the events. I think we've gotten really good at during the events. Everybody's engaged and talking to who they need to talk to, but really this year we want to focus on making sure that your team is engaged with our customer engagement team as we start these events and start the planning, so that we're inviting the folks that you want there, that we're engaged with your team in the inviting process. And then as follow-up, really want to make sure that your team is engaged with our sales team, and following up on those attendees and the conversations that were had. Because we can have all the great events, we can drive race cars, we can fly in helicopters, we can watch the Rockets win or the Spurs win. But if there's not sales engagement and follow-up, then we're just having a fun party. So really want to work on this year, the sales engagement after the events. And then talking about your investment in us, I mentioned that $800,000 number. A big part of that is what you invested in our events. But we invest back in you as well. Our customer engagement efforts, we've got 2 full-time guys on Wes's team, and his job is to put on events and get the right people there and set follow-up meetings. That pays his salary. That is an investment that we are making in you, getting you in front of the right people at these events. Engineering certifications, you all have them. You all make requirements of us. We have to jump through some hoops every once in a while to make sure we're certified and all the things we're supposed to be, but we do it. And that's a big time investment. That's a big time investment for our engineers to get the certifications, to know your product and meet your satisfaction. Sales team introductions to new accounts. I know Richard's probably got these numbers, but we keep track of how many new accounts that we walk our vendors into, how many they walk us into, and we walk more vendors into new accounts than vendors walk us into. We'd like to see that evened out a little more, but we take that to heart. If you're going to invest in an event with us, we're going to do everything we can to walk you into an account that we introduced you to there. 20 to 1, says Richard. I'm going to hold you to that. And then CTO team validation and endorsement. As Randall mentioned, we are still an engineering team at our core. We've got about an 8 to 1 engineering to sales team ratio. And so our engineers put a lot of time and effort and thought, not into just the certifications, but also validating your solutions and what type of environments they work in, and then selling those on your behalf. So we put a lot of time and investment back into our vendor community as well. And then lastly, a big, huge thank you to all of our 2026 sponsors that are joining us here tonight. So just going to leave this up here for a second. We couldn't do these events without you, not just our SKO, but all of our marketing events. We rely on you, your relationships, your marketing funding to help us really put on some great events for you. So big, huge thank you to everyone that's joining us tonight for a fantastic night in Havana. For those of you that aren't going to be able to join us tonight, we've got a lot of cool marketing events and partner happy hours coming up. So make sure you join us where you can. But again, fantastic year. We've got a lot of great things we're looking forward to. Could not do it without our vendor community. So round of applause for you guys out there. Thank you for spending an hour with us, giving us your attention and your focus. And we look forward to doing more in 2026.